The month isn't over yet, people. Buckle up. I'm back with a book review. GarbAugustina, Trasterica is in the house. Let's get sexy. And remember, before we get started, crack that whip. Hit that button. Make me happy. All right. How's your Garbaugust going? So many of you are reading so many good, juicy books. Makes my heart aglow and it gives me life. I am here to talk to you about Lady Chatterley's Lover. You with me? All right. Why do you seem so far away? Get over here now. Thank you. All right. So, Lady Chatterley's Lover. Did you have to read this in college? Yeah. Were you excited to read it? I bet you were. I bet you were excited to read it, weren't you? Okay. Honestly, let's talk about it. Get serious. This is Garbaugust. We've got class here. Right? Right. Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. This was a buddy read that MJ did with Dave and Olive from a book blather, otherwise known as Boob Lather. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't notice, this is the channel Sleazing This Life, formerly known as Reading This Life, but I am here. My name is GarbAugustina Trasterica. Nice to meet you. And I am the patron saint of trashy books. You all invoked me here, you know that, right? I honestly thought going into this book, I would be bored AF. I thought the language is going to drag me down. I thought there's not going to be much going on. You know, there's a movie too, right? Yeah, and the movie's not. It's like Masterpiece Theater Plus. That's about it. This surprised me. It really did. First 9 chapters. Little bored, losing my attention. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about people. There's a lot of gossip going on. There's a lot of chatting going on. And it wasn't until halfway through the 9th or the 10th that it really amped up. So we have our characters. We have Lady Chatterley. She is married. Her husband suffers a horrible accident while serving in the military. She, is taking care of him. There's, they are well-to-do. They are upper class. They have people to do things. Well, quite frankly, Lady Chatterley gets a little bit bored. Lady Chatterley got her groove back, okay? There's a number of different experiences and relationships that are listed in the book, that are featured in the book. Going into this, I thought this was going to be a DNF, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it, and I think the reason why I enjoyed it was the female perspective in all of this. I think this book lands differently for a female than it would for a male. Okay, they talk about a lot of relationships. The one thing I really enjoyed in this book was how they described different passages, especially when there were flirty, sexy things going on. Like, honestly, there's some really interesting writing in here. I'm going to read you a couple lines, okay? Buckle up. She gave a shriek and straightened herself, and the heap of her soft, chill flesh came up against his body. He pressed it all up against him madly, the heap of soft, chilled female flesh that became quickly warm as a flame in contact. The rain streamed on them till they smoked. That's good. That's really good. Okay, this is one of my favorites. And it seemed she was like the sea, nothing but dark waves rising and heaving with a great swell, so that slowly her whole darkness was in motion, and she was ocean rolling its dark, dumb mass. Oh, and far down inside her the deeps parted and rolled asunder in long, far traveling billows, and ever, at the quick of her, The depths parted and rolled asunder from the center of soft plunging as the plunger went deeper and deeper, touching lower, and she was deeper and deeper and deeper, disclosed. And the heavier the billows of her rolled away to some shore, uncovering her, and closer plunged the palpable unknown, and further rolled the waves of herself away from herself, leaving her suddenly in a soft, shuddering convulsion. The quick of all her plasm was touched. She knew herself touched. The consummation was upon her, and she was gone. She was gone. She was not, and she was born a woman. That is some good writing. So here's the deal, is that I read this probably 3 weeks ago now. You can do the deep dive on all of the stuff that they would go through in English literature class with you. I'm just giving you my perspective. I read a book. I read and I listened to the audio at the same time at like 1.2. Got a lot out of it. Really, really did. Themes. Class system. Okay, Lady Chatterley is up here. Her boy toy is down here. And there is love. There is love between these two. And it's scandalous. It's scandalous, the things that they do. Because, she's a woman of culture, of dignity, and she is hanging around with the guy that tends to the chickens. So, if you are a romance reader and you've never read Lady Chatterley and you want to get a little old school, pick it up. You might enjoy it. I recommend tethering it with the audiobook, though. It gives added depth. It gives more life to the book. Like I said, the first 9 chapters were a bit of a slog. After that, it really, really did speed up. It's funny because Lady Chatterley is talking about just making money out of the air and how, women should have money. That's kind of 1928. That's some forward thinking. The fun thing about this book is in the back. United States District Court in the Southern District of New York. This book, at a time, you were not able to send this book through the mail because it was that banned. To exclude this book from the mails on the grounds of obscenity would fashion a rule which could be applied to a substantial portion of the classics of our literature. Such a rule would be inimical to a free society. To interpret the obscenity statute so as to bar Lady Chatterley's lover from the mails would render the statute unconstitutional in its application, in violation of the guarantees of freedom of speech and the press contained in the First Amendment, dated New York, New York, July 21st, 1959. 1959. And that was United States District Judge Frederick Van Pelt Bryan who ruled on that. 1959. That's a bunch of decades after this book was published. Yeah. A little bit of history, a little bit of fun. Comment down below. Let me know. If you read this, did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you like some of the themes that were in there? We're talking about industry. We're talking about, I love a book with a feminist vibe. I can't think of anything more feminist than a woman going after what she wants, back then. This has a very interesting social piece as well, besides all of the, fun, naughty bits. But even the naughty bits are well done. They're well done. Again, I read that book 3 weeks ago. Just picking up on some of the highlights and why I liked it. I thought it was going to be dowdy. It wasn't. I thought it was going to be something that I wasn't familiar with. It's not. It actually could apply. It could apply to modern times, and I'm sure it can. So yeah, give it a go. Give it a go. See if you like Lady Chatterley's Lover. It's not that bad. It's better than half the trash that's out there. And that's vintage smut, people. I wouldn't even call it vintage smut, really. It's tasteful. Can you have tasteful trash? I think you can. It's tasteful trash. That's enough rambling. I'm a little under the weather, so bear with me. Okay, everyone. That's it. Hear from us. Hear from me. I hope you were all doing well. I hope you are taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. And I'm not leaving yet. We will see you in our next video, whether that be sooner or later. So until next time.